Today, December 14 at 10:20, I am with uh, Haglag and Kachif. We are having a meeting concerning hackathon, Doge Hackathon. Well, I would like to know if you read something about the different initiative. We have less than 24 hours. I don't know if what type of prototype we can make during this hour. The most important thing is that we validate if we are interested in being accelerated in Lab Next accelerator, and also working with United States government, because you know that it is a very complex challenge to work with the US government, and in this case that you already have experience with the Colombian government. United States government is more larger than Colombia, because here in Colombia I remember that we have between 1 million or 2 millions of people working. In the United States is almost 20 million of people working. So the most important thing beyond the hackathon is to validate our interest in work with the United States government. I don't know, what do you think about it? Yeah, we have with a many point. No, I in fact I am agree. The point is that I just begin to write an statement because Donald Trump write an statement on November 12th. Also, Lab AI write another statement on December 9th, and I'm writing another statement concerning this vision. The point is that for the specific hackathon, we need to make a specific proposal or in any of these ideas. But with this document, I only want to show that we had a clear path about what we want to do, but we need to decide something. For example, if we create the Twitter for legislation, or if we create a price engine to monitor different prices of the agreements of the government, or well, any of the ideas, if we make a matchmaking by goals between citizens, things like that. That's the point. The point is that I don't know what kind of prototype we can make during this weekend, or if we just focus in the proposal for the accelerator, because that's the point. On the other hand, the other problem is that concerning the hackathons, the current IP system, if we disclose potential data processing system and methods that could be patentable, if we disclose it in a public way, we can make a patent later and we can receive up to 20 years of royalties. And well, for example, in the case of Colombia and Venezuela and Latin America, we can receive patents of software or business methods. And well, in United States, you can make it. That's some of the point that I want to try to put in the board. But the question is that what kind of prototype we can make in these 24 hours. That's awesome. In concerning the knowledge graph, are you applying in a specific case? For example, I think that we can compare the performance between the same job in an state and another job, because here we are talking about mainly about efficiency. For example, United States government, they have a performance.gov, but I am not sure if you already navigated through the website, and also USA spending.gov and evaluation.gov. But three platforms are isolated. I think that we could connect them, for example, to compare payment versus performance and compare between states and keep alerting about it. I don't know if we can make something about a specific use to test comparing things that are already that already existed with the knowledge graph. Well, in this case, with the current initiative, because United States already have three initiatives with performance, but it is not working well. Yes, yes, I think that it is great because we are making efficiency between the three current initiatives for efficiency. Because they have three initiatives for efficiency: USA Spend.gov, Performance.gov, and Evaluation.gov. We can propose that Doge could integrate the three agencies. But the point is that I don't know if we can make some if we can use some data. I don't remember. I think that data.gov is the official website for open data. If we can use if we can train any data, and I can begin to prepare the proposal, the specific use, and research for futures during this time, and well, finish the document. I don't know, what do you think about it, about the scope, and in this case with Kashif, what we could do during this hour, because you already created something. And the other question, your repository is public right now or not? And in this case, we can make it public. We can make, but I am not agreed with this. I think that we can make it private, or okay, no. No, no, it is another problem that we are putting in the board in the document, in the statement, because it is a violation of human right 27 if we can make it public, but the point is that we can lose a potential patent, for example. Because you know that source code, you can patent the code, you only can protect it through copyright, and someone else can create a new code with the same method in another language and things like that. but the patent don't allow you to make it. If the country allows to protect patent, but well, the point is that if I know the rules of lab hackathons. I was thinking that, for example, we can share the link, but we don't make it public. We make it private. And I don't know if we can make the prototype in Vercel, working with a private link of GitHub. But we show the demo. That's the point. That what type of demo can we create right now during this? Okay. Understand. I am going to check data.gov. So concerning this point, what do you think, Ashif? Do you propose something about it? I, are you familiar with data.gov? I can hear you, Kachif. I am not hearing anything. Your microphone. Yeah, yeah. I can hear you. Yeah, right now I can hear you. Well, here I am checking that we have data.gov. It is the open data information in Colombia. It is similar to datosabiertos.gov. That it is something that I am trying to see how we can obtain the data from this website. And I am also trying to see if performance.gov, they are using some API or web service to use the data because I think that we can train the knowledge graph with correlations that compare spending versus performance. But the point is that we can perceive that here the data and information is not so well organized. And I think that we need to start with this and also with the customer experience or the citizen experience to navigate across the complexity of a government because for me it is a little bit complex to navigate for this information. I don't know. What do you think about it? Yes, and in this case, they are attempting to make it, and in fact, they have, for example, a survey to propose to submit improvements. But well, I think that I would like to make the following. I would like that you navigate in the platform and understand the scheme to make APIs or web services. And I would like to focus in the proposal and the presentation in order to uh, integrate a clear path about what we want to do. In this case, for example, we can we must demonstrate that we can make technical challenges. For example, with a knowledge graph, I think that it is important to highlight your experience creating a knowledge graph because we must create confidence to the US government that we are competent um, to handle this challenge and three problems. And that's the point. In this case, I have been proposing a lot of things the during the Biden uh, government, but right now with Trump, I would like to propose him something that I'm planning to do. What do you think if we focus right now, in your case, in the scope of the technical challenge, and we propose what we could do in 24 hours, but then we propose that we want to do with the US government. For example, in this case, to integrate the information of this and organize the information because it is not organized or not so organized. Yes. No, no, I know, I know, I know. I don't agree. Right, right. And there are different people, such as Kachif, that they showed interest about the hackathon. I don't know if in your case you can lead them to make it this prototype, Luis. So,
24 hours, what we can achieve with knowledge. Okay, I know that you say that you know Python and Steam. We can yeah, yeah, I know about Streamlit deploy. I can Streamlit deployment. It's supposed to be to achieve the knowledge graph presentation with the stream. But I don't know how to do it right now. But that's how I can do an example of Streamlit and the knowledge graph. So we can use that structure to improve and enhance with all the information our knowledge graph. So we can use the knowledge graph data science technology to, for example, create clustering, create activation, create all the data that came from the platform. From the knowledge graph to control of area, can show an example of a knowledge graph. But the real stuff is the knowledge graph. The presentation, and it's so important too. Okay, I tried this to it by so what is the main idea? Can you explain again as data we can fetch and what we are going to build up this type of app?
we were talking that for this hackathon in 24 hours, I am showing the screen.
Yeah.
Right now, United States have 4 websites: data.gov, performance.gov, evaluation.gov, and usaspending.gov. I think that it could be great if we begin to train and we make a prototype to create a knowledge graph to integrate the data across those platforms. For example, in this case, we can use usaspending.gov in a deep analysis, in a very disaggregated analysis. For example, for each one of the collaborator of the government, it is almost 20 million people right now. But here you can only see the the big picture, the agency's performance. Yes, but we can make comparison about the performance of each one of the people who are working in United States, because you can see only here this, but you don't compare the performance versus the spending. And we can make comparison between if the same job is better in Florida than in California. And if we can train a knowledge graph to make comparison between the roles. And I think that we can also train according to the functions of each role in the government, that it must be able to train, to define. Because, for example, in Colombia, we have a website that is funcionpublica.gov, and it sometimes show the CV of the people of the government, but you can see the roles of the person in the government. And I have been trying to propose it because we need to train to compare. I think that if we go deep about the hackathon, I can perceive that the main challenge is bureaucracy. And if we want to reduce bureaucracy, we need to understand that we right now almost 5% of the population in United States is living from the government. It is more than all the immigrants that are approximately 11 millions and almost 3.6% of the population. And if we want to reduce bureaucracy, we need to go deep around each one of the roles, and we need to train a knowledge graph to understand the roles of each role and start to making comparison. I think that it is the ways the a good way to for starting, because there are different ideas, but we can talk that right now in performance.gov we can see the data of the performance of each one of the people who are working right now in the United States government. And I think that it is a good way to perceive how much bureaucratic is the government. I don't know, what do you think about it? I think that it is a way to way a good way for starting. Did you understand the idea, Kashif?
Yeah. Okay, I see this of the bureaucracy to see automation of bureaucracy process. I think
Yeah, but we need to train something, because if you see the problem statement in challenge 1 and 2, it is talking about automatization of bureaucratic processes and reducing of government waste. But here they are talking that many government tasks are repetitive and manual, and we don't have access to all the tasks of the government and the task of each one of the 20 million of people. We can propose that we need to organize this data in order to open the path for more people to make knowledge graph and start training in a collective way, because it is a lot of data and it is complex. I think that it is a good way for starting, and we can propose something for study, because how we could know the repetitive task if we don't have the data of the task. If we don't have the information, we can define how much repetitive is something. For example, in this case, I know how it works in the migration procedures, because last year I was facing this problem, and it is very manual. They don't have an organized platform for the migrants to handle the cases. It is with papers, and you need to submit it through physical mails. And I already talked about it, and that's the only thing that I can talk about this specific situation. And in the document, I was talking about the expenses of this problem. So on the other point, they are talking about redundant processes within government, but we don't have access to the processes. And in performance.gov, they don't have the process organized. That's that I can see, I can perceive for now. In fact, for example, another problem. Sorry.
we can achieve our demonstrate that the government is the lack of information, the lack of the access to what some manual code. So if you can one case, you can export that to a knowledge graph and be simple for that. Yeah. You can go and find another process that is start side.
So concerning this data, I don't know if we can get access with the. I'm trying to search if they have a way to extract the data from the platform.
Export it to a knowledge graph. That's a for you.
Well, that's right. But in this case, we can have access to the each one of the tax of each employee in the United States, and it is a problem to solve this challenge because I was writing about it in the document. I was talking that the problem in the United States is that the right to petition is not a fundamental right such as in Colombian constitution, and they never reply anything. It is like talking with a wall. So in this case, if we don't have this data, we can try to tackle the problem in a deep way. So I think that in this case, if we build the model and we just state that we need this data, we only demonstrate that we can create a knowledge graph and train the data, but we need the data. We don't have the data. And if they don't have organized the data, we need to start organizing this data.
As a key of the young
Yes, because for example, I want to show that in this case, I think that it is one of the best platform with the best user experience concerning the navigation of budgets. But for example, in this case, this platform is not going deep because here you can see more the budgets in a more disaggregated way, and you can compare it the budget with performance in each state, for example, that it creates a path, but you can navigate something. You can go deep with this data, and sometimes it is not loading the data of the expenses.
how
So you can see the navigation, and I think that it is good. It is not so bad, but it must improve, and I think that it must be navigated with a knowledge graph to understand. We need to make fine tuning to the artificial intelligence in order to understand the performance of each agency, but it is not accessible in a public way in a lower level. That how the quote say they got easy in the details, and we don't have the details. We can go deep more beyond this. Okay, we can go deep here. Federal contribution. For example, we only can go here in this to this level, 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4 and 5 levels for the moment here in the Department of Health and Human Services. But we can open the expenses for person, and we must navigate the performance of each person because we are talking about 20 million of people. It is a country. It is a country working in the States.
because I only one person because that is a crime. In Colombia, you get all the information of a single one. You can have public records, but not the details.
Yeah. The point is that we need to have the information to train the data. I know that maybe it can be public, but if they want to solve this issue, and I think that we need to work with this data. And I think that United States government already have the data and the information, but it is not public right now. So in this case, if we don't have this data, obviously we must sign an NDA. But if we want to talk to tackle this problem, we need this data because we can compare the bureaucracy. We don't have the data to understand it because if you begin to navigate in a manual well, you just perceive that it is very large. We are talking about a budget of an amount, but you can understand nothing. You can make nothing with this information.
on the graphic picture that they showed to us.
Yes, I think that.
Okay, but in order to achieve our goal, we need to focus on a simple case. Don't worry about the results. They only know the process. How we tackle that problem. That's the real thing. They don't care about it. About that problem. And in order to face the situation, should move the they face the platform and in the government. You already know how different the Colombian government is inside the United States government. Because they don't listen to the they don't listen, they don't need, they don't they don't hear lies from the people. They don't care about that.
But I want to ask you something from this point of view. So I think that we need to train a model and explain it what is repetitive and what is manual. So, for example, in this case, we need to have access to all the processes manual of the government, and we need to train this data. So that's one point. We need to have a clear path about the problem to solve the problem that they are proposing. Because yeah, we can make it in a human way. We need to learn to teach artificial intelligence. Okay, it is repetitive and it is not repetitive. It is manual and it is not manual. And it must begin to train and it must begin to compare. For example, in this case, how might we to train the artificial intelligence to explain that something is efficient or inefficient? And we need to make comparison about, okay, this tag is efficient, this tag is inefficient. So we need to create a model that compare all the states and begin to create a standard of efficiency. In order to understand the efficiency, the efficiency or inefficiency is created by all of those 20 million or almost 20 million of people. But we need to, so the point is that we need to simulate something and only put one case, and I don't know if we can create the logic of the fine tuning or the knowledge graph and show them that in order to improve it we need the data.
Fraction and they know the real is about the perform on that. But the knowledge graph itself is like a database. It's not about the tool or the brain. Because the knowledge graph is like a SQL, a database. But all information and make it in a knowledge graph, we can compare inside the knowledge graph, for example, the steps knowledge graph, because in a knowledge graph, we identify how many steps a person needs to get a problem solved. But the problem that the knowledge graph, the knowledge graph, the tuning step, and when I say a lot of problems, I think about this, yes, no more than that, because it's expensive to perform tuning or training on an LLM that's out of our budget for a last month. For example, the training of a drug that even cost like $1,000 for the most cheaper approach.
Okay, I understand, but we can create the model and we can leave that we need the data later and we can simulate it, but the point is that we have a clear structure of the theory, the theoretical and the model that we need to train. That's the point.
Notice all the problems in a bureaucracy on the government, but that knowledge into a usable knowledge graph.
Yes. Awesome. We need to make so. Let's focus on that.
Okay, on this meeting of a knowledge graph, in order to have a platform to share with you, and that let's try a simple demo that.
Great, awesome. I am going to create but I'm going to send the information in the server, okay? And I am going to share the proposal or the idea in the statement of concerning the conversation. I am going to make the prompt about the guideline of Lab AI about this specific initiative. Well, I will share you with both of you. Any thoughts, Kashif?
Yeah, okay, let's work on it, build a model.
Okay, don't forget something that right now, the core point about all of this is that it is an opportunity to demonstrate our skills, our experience, our talent to both of more powerful person in the planet. The next president of the United States that he is in the top 5 and the most wealth public people in the planet, because we don't know if there are more richer person, but it is the opportunity that we have. For the reason I begin with the statement about we must have a clear vision about the issue, and we are demonstrating that we can also create in a technical way, and we need to reach something. We need to find a very good visual artist, an audiovisual artist, because navigating is also a very important component. And if we make it, we can have a solid team, because don't forget that right now the next step is it's not a reward in payment, it is an acceleration. And it means that we will be working in parallel with United States government, and that's the opportunity that we have right now. And it doesn't matter if we make something solid, we only need to demonstrate that we are clear about what we can build. That's only that I want to say, because it is a very important opportunity. or at least in my case, is one of the most important opportunities that I have been facing right now because they are going to see it. They are trying to solve this issue. The next president of the United States and also Elon Musk, that he's leading with someone else this department, and they are going to check the ideas that they have. And one important thing is that I perceive that it is the first hackathon in the world for GovTech, or at least in this disruptive way, because it is very complex and it is very hard to find a political, I don't know the right translation, but it is very hard to find a politician who support those kind of ideas. It is very complex. I have been fighting it during more than 10 years here in Colombia, and I have been validated and you know how this works. It is very hard. It is a very good opportunity. Well, in my case, I want to explain something that I begin to divide this industry in digital democracy, digital government, government technologies, and also digital governance, because usual it is not well used, but it is called e-government. United Nations already have an index. United States is not in the position 1, they are in the position 9. And also the World Bank have another index that is the GovTech Maturity Index. I have been proposing to put the United States in the first place, and also we need to improve this index. If you read the message that I said on Lab AI, I proposed that we can create an indicator of bureaucracy. For example, one variable could be the number of population versus the number of people working in the government. If you perceive in the United States, they have more people working in the government than illegal migrants. It is a very large number. For example, in Colombia, we have almost 52 millions of people. And I am not sure about the number of people working in the government, but it is approximately 1 million and 2 million. They don't have a clear data about it, but we can make this index, and that's a good way to work. The point that what I want to explain is that we must demonstrate all of this. That's the point, and that's all that I want to know, because sometimes it's very difficult in the hackathon to engage the people, because sometimes it is just for fun or just for learning. No, in this case, it is a very good opportunity to show something to those both of person that I talked to you, Mr. Elon Musk and Mr. Trump. And well, that's the opportunity that we had during this weekend. So let's do it now. And thank you so much for being part of all of this. Doctor, we hear you. Okay, okay.
Yeah, that could work with it.
Do you want to talk, Luis?
That the user interface, I know that the know how to interact with the information, but then hackathon that is based on only a React interface, a web that you can navigate, but they don't have the real information, the real structure. They don't have the this single interface or a designer one against a scientific data confirmation of the, the real scenario of the government in the United States. Concentrate in the data make, for example, achieve an extremely to without entering in the designing or the visual interface too long, because that is demanding. That is difficult for me to create a React app to make the user navigate. That's difficult for me. But if you think of me about the scientific data to create the knowledge graph, is easy for me. So we need to connect our team in order to achieve the a real proposal of on the information. And for the last, I need to share with you that
Yes, but Luis, I mean that in this case, I'm not talking about the hackathon. I am talking about the proposal for United States government that we have right now a clear path about about one problem, and particularly with the challenges that they proposed us. And what I want to make is that we can make the technical challenge that we are talking about it right now. And what I want to focus is that I want to explain each one of the Latin letters that they are using in English and understand the problem. Because if you see the statement, I write the approach of Einstein that he said, if I have 1 hour to solve a problem, I will take 55 minutes defining the problem and 5 minutes solving. So the point is that I mean that we need to put it in the proposal, because below the hackathon and the presentation and the prototype, we are demonstrating that we can make it, that we already have a potential team interested in make it. And then we can say we need this, because right now it is a big data challenge below artificial intelligence, and we need access to this data, and we need to co-create with them, and we need to have a clear approach about that the things that we are negotiating, that we are talking about. And the other important point is that if the United States stability is very important for the rest of the world. And this is something that we need to approach. And if you remember, another thing that I shared in the in the group is that we have 20 millions of people working, and in this hackathon we only have 1,300 people interested in break the bureaucracy. If you see the numbers, it is very few people for tackle a problem with all of these people. That's the point, that we need to we must try to negotiate with the United States government. That's the point that I want to do. And well, I'm very happy about this team, about all of things, and I feel confident that we we are going to begin working with the United States government. So I am going to focus on that. In my part, I'm going to prepare the presentation, also the document before tomorrow. Feel free to reach me at any moment to validate something. Don't forget that we need to show a demo and the source code that we were talking about it. And well, I think that's all for now. Yes, I remember. Yeah, I think that a good way is to make another call with the video. I think that tomorrow, when you have the prototype with and the presentation, and we make it together talking. I did it in the other video, because I already submitted in two hackathons before of this. 3 hackathons you have been participating. Okay, keep talking through the groups. Great. Okay, great, awesome. Happy to see if you share some points, a screenshot or videos about the process to remember this moment. Because I think we are making history from now. Okay, I also believe in both of you. Happy for the team. Okay, bye bye. Thank you so much. See you later. You. Well, we are closing right now at 11:70.